And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Welcome back to another exciting segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a question, now's a great time to call 888-227-2546. That's 888 Car Clinic. I want to shift gears for a moment and speak with a special guest holding on the line, Jeff Kramer. Jeff is the Vice President of Sales for Power Service Products, the best name in diesel-specific additives. And Jeff's here to talk to us about modern diesel fuel and the need for additives, and a very important topic with the rise of popularity of diesel powertrains. Jeff, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the house.
Thank you very much for having me.
There are some Car Clinic listeners out there who may not know, so let's start with the basics. Aside from the fuel, what are the main differences between a diesel engine and a gasoline-powered engine?
The most obvious differences between the two are diesel being compression ignition, meaning that it doesn't have a spark plug. It's got to produce the heat internally during the combustion process in order to get the fuel to ignite. Where in a gasoline engine, you have spark plugs that produce the heat necessary to get the fuel to ignite.
To that end, additives have long since been known to improve the fuel quality and the vehicle performance. As I understand it, Jeff, Power Service Products has one goal and one core operation, and that is to produce diesel additives. Is that a correct statement, that that's your specialty?
That's all we do, diesel technology. And I think it's easy for a manufacturer to build a product that is all-encompassing. It'll do everything. It'll work in your lawnmower. It'll work in your motorcycle. It'll work in your diesel engine. But as we both know, there are significant differences between a gasoline engine and a diesel engine. When dealing with diesel engines, there's additives that we make that serve different functions. In the wintertime, you have to have an anti-gel because diesel fuel gels when it gets below freezing temperatures. And we do make a product for that, which is called Diesel Fuel Supplement. But Diesel Clean is our performance product. It's a combustion improver that improves the combustibility of the diesel fuel, making it easier to burn during the combustion process. We do that by adding what's called cetane improver. Cetane is the measure of the ignition quality of diesel fuel. Similar to octane ratings in gasoline, if you're driving a high-performance Corvette or high-performance gasoline engine, you want to run a high-octane fuel. In a diesel engine, if you want the engine to perform at peak conditions, you need a high cetane rating in your diesel fuel. With our products, we offer the additional benefits of cetane improver to help the fuel combust more rapidly, producing more horsepower, as well as reducing emissions.
Several years back when we had LSD, low sulfur diesel, and then we had the ULSD, which is the ultra low sulfur diesel. As I understand, the actual sulfur content was reduced dramatically, not necessarily because of the ultra-low sulfur, but in the process of removing the sulfur, it had an adverse effect on the diesel lubricity. Does Diesel Clean also affect or make up for the loss in the lubrication?
Absolutely. LSD was at 500 ppm sulfur. Now we're at 15 ppms or less. And that process to remove the sulfur itself removed both sulfur and nitrogen. And those are natural lubricants within the diesel fuel itself. And with our Slick Diesel lubricity package that's available in Diesel Clean, we replace all that vital lubricity that is missing now from the fuel itself.
Diesel fuel companies, Jeff, do they not make up for the difference in lubricity? So, and is there damage done to vehicles without this additive?
The damage can be rapid. There is, to answer your first question, yes, the fuel terminals or depots where fuel suppliers pull their fuel, there is requirements for them to add lubricity improver, but the difficult thing for them is to determine how much to put in there, because our fuel system and refining system in the U.S., it's all fungible. So you could have a fuel that came from the Gulf Coast. You could have a fuel that is being mixed from Oklahoma. It all goes into a fungible pool. And they're not capable of testing every sample of fuel that comes into the fuel terminal and determining, do we need to add 100 ppms of lubricity improver or 200 ppms of lubricity improver? So they work on a bell curve or a set of averages. And the only way that you can truly protect yourself and your equipment is by adding an aftermarket product like Diesel Clean that's specifically designed to replace the lubricity that is missing from the diesel fuel itself.
I got it. I understand that the 16-ounce bottle will treat up to 40 gallons of fuel. And the people that drive diesels, they should stick to the instructions on the bottle of Diesel Clean.
The 16-ounce container that treats 40 gallons is going to give you a 3-point boost in cetane improver.
Wow.
If you want 6 points, then you can double the feed rate. We don't make the recommendation of using more than a 2 times treatment. But typically in my diesel pickup, I will add the entire 16-ounce container to the 25 to 26 gallons of diesel that I put in it.
And we're speaking with Jeff Kramer, Vice President of Sales for Power Service Products. The website is powerservice.com. If our listeners go to powerservice.com, not only can they get information about Diesel Clean, but they can read what other users have said. Jeff Kramer, Vice President of Sales, Power Service Products. It's a great product, and thanks for your time. Great to have you in the house today.
Well, thank you for having me.